Barnaby the badger was a terrible baker. His cakes were as flat as pancakes, his cookies crumbled to dust, and his bread, well, his bread resembled a particularly lumpy rock. The other woodland creatures politely nibbled his creations, offering encouraging but slightly strained smiles. Barnaby sighed. He dreamed of winning the annual Woodland Bake-Off, but his baking skills were, to put it mildly, disastrous. He tried everything. He followed recipes precisely, he watched baking videos, he even consulted a wise old owl known for her prize-winning pies. But nothing seemed to work. His cakes remained stubbornly flat, his cookies resolutely crumbly. One day, Barnaby was practicing his shortbread recipe, his brow furrowed in concentration. He was so focused that he didn't notice a little field mouse, Millie, scurrying into his burrow, shivering and soaked to the bone. A sudden downpour had caught her by surprise. Millie was too shy to speak, but Barnaby noticed her shivering form. He forgot all about his baking woes. He quickly gathered some warm blankets and offered Millie a cup of hot chamomile tea. He also remembered he had some leftover honey from a previous baking attempt, at least that had turned out well. He offered it to Millie with a piece of his disastrous shortbread. Millie, shivering and hungry, took a bite. Her eyes widened. This is delicious," as she exclaimed. Barnaby blinked in surprise. "But, it's my shortbread," he stammered. "It's always crumbly." Crumbly, yes," Millie said, "but it's also warm and sweet and comforting. It's perfect for a cold, wet mouse." Barnaby looked at his shortbread in a new light. He had been so focused on making it perfect, according to some ideal, that he had forgotten what truly mattered, the feeling it gave. His shortbread might not have looked like the picture in the recipe book, but it had warmed a little mouse's heart. The day of the bake-off arrived. Barnaby didn't enter his usual disastrous cake or cookies. He baked his crumbly shortbread. It didn't win any prizes for presentation, but the judges, after tasting all the elaborate and perfect-looking entries, found themselves drawn to Barnaby's simple, comforting shortbread. It tasted of warmth and kindness. Barnaby didn't win the grand prize, but he won something even better. He learned that baking wasn't just about perfection, it was about sharing and caring. And that, he realized, was the sweetest ingredient of all.